Very good morning, everyone. Welcome to BYJU'S Exam Prep. My name is Alpa Sharma and this is our editorial analysis. I hope I'm clearly audible and visible to everyone. You can hear and see me very clearly. Happy Independence Day. Jai Hind. I hope you guys enjoyed the 75th Independence Day. You guys also worked hard, read a lot, and now we are back to business. We're back to studying. We're back to practicing because CAT 22 isn't far away. So let's quickly have a look at the agenda of the session today. Yeah, Dia? Hi, good morning. Yes, clearly audible and visible. So let's see what I'm going to do today in today's session. So I've brought only one article today, okay? And this article that I've brought is out of a very unpopular source. It's out of a very common magazine that we see around, but none of the common sources that we've been following, like the Hindu, the Indian Express, the Guardian, the New York Times, the Aeon, none of these. It's more like an extract that we are going to be reading today. And I am sure, will have so much fun reading this article that I've brought today. It's going to fill your heart with so many memories and so many thoughts. It's a very thought-provoking article that I've brought today. So, good morning, Reindeer, happy Independence Day, YouTube Prads, Kaushal, hi, good morning, Roosters, Maitre, very good morning. So this is one article that I brought. Like usually we do, Mondays are days for extracts and books, extracts and summary based articles. This is one of those. Okay, so I'm not going to tell you the topic of the article. I'm not going to tell you the gist of the article or the source of it. You can just consider it to be a random source from an internet piece of writing. Vocabulary, some words are difficult. We're going to be doing that. Tone of the author, yes, a very interesting one. Summary probably isn't very difficult, but tone here is a tricky one. So we'll be discussing that in detail and many inferences to be drawn from many lines that I am going to be highlighting. So make sure while we are reading, and I'm giving you some time to read through a page, I'll be highlighting a few lines. Make sure you draw your own inferences from those lines because I'll be asking you questions from those lines. So, good morning, Ajinkya. Of course, yes, Kaushal, you should. Although there are many illegal sources which I wouldn't recommend, where you could find the Hindu for free, but you need to figure out those sources on your own. I wouldn't recommend them. So before I start off with anything, just remember we have All India Open Mock CAT 22 happening 21st till 21st of August from 12th. So make sure any one of the slots, whenever you're free, you take up the test. You get a real life CAT experience. You also see the mock being attempted by our expert faculty. You know where your strength is, where your weakness is, how you're performing, what your percentile could be, what your strategy should be. Make sure you sit for the mock. Don't miss out on that. Also, if you're targeting CAT 2022, a comprehensive program has been launched. Look no further. Enroll yourself right away if you need to be trained or wish to be trained under the guidance of 099 100 percentiles. This batch is for you. I shall see you in the batch very soon. So let's now quickly begin with the article. Ready everyone? Shall I show you that? Okay, so be ready for a roller coaster ride into the nostalgia. We're going to be recollecting so many things from our childhood. Here we go. I brought two articles, okay? But we're going to be probably doing only one. Here it is. Read this page and send me a done. I'll answer this, Roosters. I'll answer your question. It's a very important question. I'll answer this. First, do this page. Now I'm sure a lot of nostalgia is coming back to your head. How many whistles? Mama, 2 whistle ho gayi. Cooker band karna hai. So, a lot of our childhood memories are associated with pressure cooker and its whistles. You now know what the article is about. This article is about the pressure cooker and the love Indian households have with the pressure cooker. How it came into existence is more like a case study, more like a discussion that's going to be happening here about our obsession with pressure cookers. Yeah, I've seen this somewhere. I know this para. I was reading somewhere in the newspaper. You must have come across this, Kaushal. It's a very interesting piece of writing. You must have come across this one. Okay, so let's go on. Let's see. There are people who count their whistles to 1, some to 3, some to 2. Different recipes have different whistling. So this entire page is more oriented with how many whistles do we need for our dish to be prepared. When we launched the Futura silent pressure cooker in the range of 25 years ago, people complained, "Siti nahi bajata." I brought my mom a whistle-less pressure cooker now. She said the absolutely same thing even after 25 years of launching this silent pressure cooker, that you don't get the feel of cooking in a pressure cooker unless and until there's a whistle sound that you get. So this clearly says our obsession with the pressure cooker in the kitchen Indian household that we have. Let's move on. Let's draw some inferences in the next page. Here you go, read the page and send me a done. So, I'm sure you've read this already. 1. Why do you think is the relationship with the pressure cooker here unremarkable? Why is it so unremarkable? Yeah. Yes, exactly, Kaushal. You're right. You must have read it somewhere. Okay. So, why do you think the pressure cooker is unremarkable here? Why is it so unremarkable? When you ask somebody with a relationship with the pressure cooker, why do they think it's such a common thing? It's an unremarkable thing. What is the answer here, everyone? Because it's a thing, and it's a thing that's a part and a parcel of our life. You don't sit and ponder over, okay, this pressure cooker is an inevitable part of my life. I can't live without the pressure cooker. You see people who migrate to the Western countries, they carry the pressure cooker with them because they know find a whistle pressure cooker in the Western markets. So they carry it from India because they're so associated with it, and so it's a quite normal thing for them, and it's a part and parcel of their life, everyday life. They don't sit and fuss about it. Oh my god, they will fuss only when the whistle isn't working. That's why it's unremarkable, it's a common thing, and thus people don't pay a lot of heed. When you ask them what's your relationship with the pressure cooker, they say pressure cooker. Who would want to know my relationship with the pressure cooker? It's just there in my kitchen doing his own work, making dal for me or rice for me in a whistle. Okay, so people think it's pretty unremarkable. Who would fuss about that? But then, ironically, you see, it's such an integral part of our lives, yet the market of pressure cookers are it's really small. I'm sure you would agree to that. How many of you have seen a pretty old, dilapidated pressure cooker in your mom's kitchen? How many of you have seen that? Probably the one that they got when they got married to your father, and it's still there. They get it repaired over and over and over again. Sometimes the gasket, sometimes the whistle, but it's still working fine. How many of you? Yes, not in the cabin luggage, Yashwant. Absolutely, Prads. Kitchen spirit is associated completely with a cooker. Yeah, I'm sure you've seen that, right? You've seen those, and that's exactly, yeah, the 5 liter one. Exactly. You really old ones. And that's the whole point. Because we Indian households have this habit of not giving up on the older utensils and everything. And pressure cooker is something that you see people coming on a cycle and repairing it for you at your home. You don't give up on that. And that's why the market is so low. It's sturdy, it's durable, and you don't get it repaired. If it needs repaired, you get it repaired, but you don't buy a new one. That's exactly why the market is so slow. But is that the reason why we see a slow death of pressure cooker? Is that the reason? Because it doesn't get destroyed very quickly, it can be repaired easily. Is that the reason why we're looking at a slow death of pressure cooker in India? Exactly, Prats. That's the point. My mom still has it. Probably my child would say the same for me. Do you think is that the reason that we see the slow death of pressure cookers? No, that is not the reason. I'll give you a hint before I tell you the exact answer. I'll give you a hint. When you see those Instagram reels on cooking, how many of the aesthetic ones have cooking done in a pressure cooker? The aesthetic ones. Probably none. Probably none of them would have a pressure cooker in them. They would have a microwave. They would have a stovetop. Exactly, Sai. That's the point. They probably are switching to other alternatives. Technology is causing the slow death. People are using, but the popularity is falling down. So that's why we probably are seeing a slow death of the pressure cookers. Let's continue reading. Read the page and send me a done. Absolutely, Kaushal, undoubtedly. There's no doubt about the nutrients that are left after you cook something in a microwave and the nutrients that are left after you cook it in a pressure cooker. There's no comparison between that. Now you see, there's what Sai had said, there's more data backing up his claim. It says their daughters are less impressed by the clunkers. Clunkers is a word used for pressure cookers here. Clunkers are those objects like machinery which are outdated, no more in use, no more in fashion, or in a very bad state, like almost antique. So those pressure cookers we were referring to that your mom's kitchen still has, which probably they got when they got married to your father, they're still using it. It's actually a clunker. It's dilapidated, overused, not in trend anymore. And the daughters now are not very impressed. They would say, oh, I want to cook in a microwave or maybe something else. I want to cook rice. I would cook that in a rice cooker. A separate cooker for rice, but not in a pressure cooker because I find it to be a clunker. The reason why technology is taking over the pressure cookers. Who would have imagined early in the morning at 10 a.m. we would be discussing pressure cookers? I am very happy with the article that I brought. It's a very interesting piece and I'm at least able to maintain the audience from the beginning till the end. You need to know what's happening towards the end, right? Stick with me. Food cooked in pressure cooker, especially dal, also deprives its nutrients. Okay, I'm not talking about the nutrients that are left, Shweta. Okay, Shweta, I hope you'll understand this. Let's talk about the imperativeness of pressure cooker in our kitchen. If we would need it or not. Would you need it? All the students who would go to hostels would need it. All the people who would work would need it. It's a quick thing. It might not be in, but it's certainly a part and parcel of our lives. We would need that, okay? So the daughters say, oh, we're less impressed by your clunker. I would rather get rid of it and buy a microwave here. And then, how many of you seen or heard of something like this happening? I have been, by the way, a witness to this. I've been a witness to it. I escaped narrowly. Ironically, I was pregnant at the time. It would have been a disaster. I luckily escaped narrowly, but this I've been a witness to this as well. How many of you have heard of such stories? The cooker exploding and khichdi and dal and rice everywhere. Yashwant, we even have soundless cookers now. My mom is not impressed. She got rid of that. She sold it to the kabadi. How many of you have heard of stories? See, Kaushal has. Others? No, none of you? I've been a witness, first-hand witness. Praj as well. I'm sure Devansh as well. Chinta has. It is very dangerous, yeah. And then there are many accidents. So basically, a pressure cooker is a machine. You need to know how to operate it. Okay? If you don't know, it can actually become a bomb. We've heard of bombs in a pressure cooker as well. Let's move on. Read the next page. Read the page and send me a done. Good morning, Pranit. Read the page. You're missing out on a very interesting article in cartoons. Okay, read the page, everyone. Okay, I don't want any discussion on the feminism here, okay? Okay, so of course, this paragraph might look really sexist and really sexist to us, but let's not get into the conversation. Let's give the liberty to the era when women were responsible for doing the household chores, and that's when pressure cookers became a popularity. Of course, pressure cookers and their entire technique is a machinery, okay? And you need to know how to operate the machinery because without that, it's actually going to become a bomb. So it was meant for the husbands, not because the husbands would be impressed and start cooking, but they would convince their wives to use this contraption that comes with an explanation of the juggernaut. Let's understand the term juggernaut. Juggernaut is something, yes, Amrit, and it's a super interesting article, but let's continue reading this. We're talking about pressure cookers, by the way. So, Juggernaut is something you can relate it to the term Juggernauts. Okay, so Jagannath Yatra, when it starts, the yatra is so overwhelming and so forceful, and there are so many people and so powerful. So, this Juggernaut relates to the word Jagannath. You can memorize it that way. So, Juggernaut is with a lot of force and pressure and overwhelm. That kind of thing is juggernaut. So the explanation was actually a juggernaut. People would be overwhelmed. Oh my god, this is a pressure cooker. How am I supposed to use it? Where's the gasket? Where's the whistle? How is it going to operate? Okay. So yeah. So ultimately, this contraption was made for males who would understand the juggernaut, the entire contraption that was given to them, and they would ultimately convince their wives to use it because wives would want hassle-free cooking. But this looked like a lot of hassle, okay? So there was some level of hydraulics, and the husband was impressed. Okay, I'm going to convince my wife use this. Let's move on. Let's read this. Next page, everyone. Just a minute. You can skim through this page. It has nothing really important to read. Hi Sandeep, quickly read the page. Okay, let me ask you a question. What is the tone? What is the tone of the passage till now? We are talking about the pressure cooker. We're talking about its importance in our household. What is its tone till now? The article hasn't ended yet. We're going to be continuing with that. What is the tone till now? Anyone? Humorous? Okay. No. No, 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 no. Explanatory? Okay. Expository? Could be. Roosters? Not humor. Humor. See, humor what we are creating out of the article. Okay. But that's not the purpose of writing this article. Adulatory? No. It's not appreciating the pressure cooker. Can I say the tone here is narrative? Sai, you have my thought here. You spoke my mind. The tone here is narrative. It's more like telling you a story, a recollection of many instances that made the pressure cooker a very... But why did you delete it? Sai, it's a narrative one, okay? It's a storytelling kind of a tone where the author recollects many instances and tells us about the popularity of pressure cooker through these instances. Let's continue. Let's see if the tone changes here. This entire part here is a narration. Storytelling of how the pressure cooker became a part and parcel of their lives, along with the recipe book his mom had given him. I'm not going to discuss this part. It's supremely easy. Let's see if it has some implication later on. Okay, read this one. Here comes the important part. Yashwant will talk about that. Tell me the tone of the author here in this line. Everyone. Oh, here. Tell me the tone of the author here in the line that I'm highlighting. Tell me the tone here. This line is an important one. What is he trying to say by saying this? What is the tone of the author here in the line that I've highlighted? Absolutely sarcastic, words. Absolutely sarcastic. The author is using the heat up. What are you heating? You heating some ready to cook noodles and ready to cook biryani. Is that real food? That isn't. It is completely sarcastic. Diya, he uses a kind of sarcasm here to criticize the non-popularity of pressure cookers over the popularity of everything instant and modular. Where you're not eating real food at all. These biryanis and noodles, that too you're just reheating everything. What are you doing? So basically, it's a kind of sarcasm the author is using here. Okay. Okay. Now, continue reading. See, even this line is a pure sarcasm. Read this, everyone. See, even this line is sarcasm. It says, you call yourself a foodie because you have eaten at the best of the five-star restaurants with the lavish menu, but dal chawal is something that you would opt out on. That also is a tinge of sarcasm of the modernization the author is seeing in the common kitchens these days. That also is sarcasm. Okay. And then he justifies, you think you are a foodie and you think the pressure cooker should be out of your kitchen? For your information, even Tarla Dalal, who is the queen of the Indian kitchen household, she knows how to make naan in a pressure cooker. So you can use pressure cooker for everything. That also is a kind of hitting back on you with a little bit of tinge of taunt and sarcasm and pun intended here. So this entire paragraph can be termed as sarcasm or pun or criticism. Okay. So till now, the tone could be a bit of descriptive, narrative, but now the tone moves away to being sarcastic. Gagandeep, I can explain something in Hindi if you would want me to. I'm very well versed with Hindi, but I try to stick to English because ultimately the exam is going to be in English, and then there are many people who don't understand Hindi at all. Okay. So we have to get the knack of understanding things in English. I use completely plain English, no fancy hanky-panky words. Okay, let's move on. Yeah, only read this paragraph. Only this one. This paragraph is trying to take us back to the nostalgia we were referring to in the first paragraph. Godrej Almiras, Bajaj scooters, Maruti 800 and pressure cookers. Probably like Maruti 800 and Godrej Almiras and Bajaj scooters, pressure cookers are also going to be something ancient, antique like these are, and we would make memes on that, the existence of pressure cooker in our household. The author probably isn't very amused with this change that's happening. So this entire paragraph is more of taking you back to the nostalgia of your childhood. We're not reading this one. It's a very simple paragraph. Yes, read this paragraph, everyone. I'm going to be asking you questions here. When we use crescent a digester, what does that mean? Crescent a digester, what does that mean? What does that mean? Crescent a digester. Renamed, yeah, exactly, Shivangi, you're right. Christening is when you officially add the child, newborn child, into the Christian family. He officially becomes a Christian. He's baptized, he's named. Okay, so this here the pressure cooker was renamed as a digester, a new name given to it and brought into the family, baptized. That's how you use the word crescent. It was renamed as a digester. Eventually, the parent companies disappeared, but Hawkins and Prestige became synonymous to pressure cookers, like Surf became synonymous to detergents, and Colgate became synonymous to toothpaste. Hawkins and Prestige became synonymous to pressure cookers in our household. You have to ask your mom, Mom, if you want to buy a pressure cooker, which brand would you prefer? She would 99.99% of the times reply either Hawkins or Prestige. Though new brands have come up, but they wouldn't care. The secret to their success was women like Prema, the one whose cooker became a bomb. She's now 69. Eventually, she made her daughter-in-law start using pressure cookers even. I think I'm back. Looks like we are back. Everything's cool. Something happened. I don't know. The internet just dropped. The demerits of teaching online. Internet just dropped, but everything's back. We've given a closure to the article. Thankfully, we could read the article completely. The closure is that technology is picking up and people, the author certainly is not very happy. I look like a freedom fighter with my video stuck with my one finger up in the air. I actually was basking in the glory of the moment the video was stuck at, but it's okay, jokes apart. Your homework now, before I end the class. Did you like the article? If you did, make sure you hit the like button, comment under my video, and share the video with your friends. It takes me a lot of time to hunt and find and bring out articles for you. Friday, I'm going to be bringing Aeon article as usual. Thursday, sorry. Aeon article. Make sure you don't miss out on that. Your homework is that you comment under my video with the overall tone. Not the tone for this first half or the second half, the overall tone of the article here. Summary is supremely easy. We're not going to talk about that, okay? And make sure you follow us on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Telegram, and download our app on Google Play. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a very good day. Read a lot. And that is all, everyone. God bless you. Bye, everyone.